Alrighty, y'all. Welcome back to another live stream here on the channel. Glad to have you guys in here today. So far, we have Isabel, Chip, as well as Johnny, Indiana, and Caleb. Caleb had to go, but glad to have you guys all in here, as well as everyone else who is watching, may not be chatting. Glad to have you here as well. We're going to be talking about the tropical system today, of course, and maybe a little bit of severe weather coverage. It just depends on how many tornado warnings we get here, but we'll look at the severe weather every once in a while. So let's go ahead and dive right on into this. Hopefully I have everything set up. Honestly, I should have checked. This might glitch just a little bit of a heads up there. No, we are good to go. Okay, so yeah, we're going to be talking about our tropical storm here. I've already forgot how to pronounce it. Beryl. I think you pronounce it like barrel. It is currently located a couple hundred miles east of, let's see, the southern Lesser Antilles. That's what we're going to call it. It's about 900 miles east of the southern Lesser Antilles, so very, very far away. And look at this thing swirl. I mean, this is an absolutely crazy tropical storm. This is probably a hurricane. I'm just going to say that outright. This is most likely a hurricane. We got another tornado warning. We are going to have to go and look at those tornado warnings. There's beat for you.
Tornado warning for North Central Huntingdon County in central Pennsylvania, Huntingdon County in Pennsylvania.
I plan my weather update for 4 p.m. and that's when the severe weather kicks off too. So if you're in those counties in Pennsylvania, make sure you're in your safe spot. That will be above my face cam. I'll frequently be switching between radar products up there. But we're not going to do full-blown coverage on that because I really want to talk about this tropical system here. And I mean, it is just absolutely insane. This is the furthest east tropical storm we've had on record at this time. The first hurricane this year is anticipated to be a Category 3, and it may even get to an upper echelon Cat 3, possible Cat 4. I don't really want to go to that Cat 4 side of things. We'll leave that to the National Hurricane Center, but it may go there. There is a chance that it will go there. So we'll just be monitoring it really closely. I'll show you guys some model runs. I'm trying to see if that's a debris signature above my face cam there. I don't think it is. But that may be on the ground near the Seven Stars area in central Pennsylvania. So, yes, I did, Isabel. I almost did say the National Weather Service. So you can see, I mean, this is a ridiculous tropical system. Look how large it is, too. So the tropical storm force winds of this system are barely even out of the center. I think it's like 45 miles to the northeast of the tropical system, the tropical storm. I need to get used to calling it a tropical storm, and then we're going to go into hurricane, then a major hurricane. So Yeah, that's the current water vapor imagery. I'm looping that for you guys. This is over like the last hour or so. It has steadily been increasing its core. So this actually does, even though it doesn't look like it, it already has a well-defined eye beneath all the infrared satellite imagery and everything. It actually does have an eye. It's just not out to the satellite imagery just yet. So it does actually have an eye. So this will be able to rapidly intensify over the next 30-ish hours now. Here's your current satellite imagery, I should say your infrared satellite imagery here. You can see that explosion of convection on the east and southeast side. So this is a very well-defined tropical storm. It's not one of your messy tropical storms like, for instance, the one that hit Mexico, the first named storm this year. That was a pretty messy tropical storm. It really didn't have much to it. It had a lot of impacts in southern Texas, but I mean, I really didn't hear too much from that. I believe there actually was 1 or 2 fatalities from that tropical storm, and that's very unfortunate, especially because it was so weak. Hopefully everybody prepared for that system, and this system is going to be a whole lot worse, but thankfully it won't hit the U.S. But let me just go ahead and pause this and show you guys what we're looking at here. So we have just a big blob of convection on the eastern side of this tropical storm, which is Tropical Storm Beryl. You have the rest of your tropical cyclone that extends out here. I'm going to have to learn more terminology about this tropical storm and more terminology about hurricane season in these hurricanes, because I actually don't really know too much about them. And I don't think Lucky does either, but I mean, this is just a really solid look. You have these clouds that are going out to the northwest. I forgot what you call them, but it's very much notable, especially with stronger tropical storms and hurricanes. That's one of the reasons why I do believe this is actually a hurricane already. So we're going to be keeping a really close eye on that. Here is some other things we'll look at. So there's our sea surface temperatures. We obviously, we're not going to look at this for too long because we obviously have plenty of sea surface temperatures. There's no issue with that. They are boiling hot out there. And then we also have your GFS ones. Now, I didn't prepare the ensembles. I don't know why I forgot to prepare the ensembles. Let me go ahead and get those up for y'all. That might appear just right out in front. Let's see if it opens right in front of us. Yes, it does. So here is your ensembles. I'm going to go over to your products. We're going to go to tropical cyclones, then we're going to go to tropical storm Beryl, and we're going to go to your ensemble models. So that's your agreement. That's your super ensembles that I showed in the urgent video earlier today. And that is expected. We are expecting this to hit land in the southern Lesser Antilles, so definitely want to be aware. And I don't know. I may even say evacuate. Some of those areas are very much prone to significant damaging winds with pretty much a tropical storm. So it's probably worth evacuating some of these islands out here. What do you say? Like Grenada here, St. Vincent, Barbados. It's probably worth evacuating, to be honest, because this is expected. It is expected to be a Category 3 hurricane. So this should be a very dangerous system and potentially a catastrophic hurricane. And again, if this is going to hit Cat 4 intensity, it's going to do it south of Puerto Rico, generally in this area. That's when it has the most availability. The best environment is just barely south of Puerto Rico. Now, if it goes closer to like the northern portion of South America, it's going to be into a slightly cooler waters as well as land. So if it's going to become a Cat 4, it's going to have to be right barely south of Puerto Rico. And this could end up making landfall on Jamaica, maybe even Haiti. Not completely out of the question for a landfall on Haiti, Jamaica, maybe even Cuba or the Yucatan Peninsula. So there's a multiple areas. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this. There's multiple areas. This is your National Hurricane Center cone. So the first landfall should be the southern Lesser Antilles, moves up to the northeast to Puerto Rico. We shouldn't see any landfall for that area. Maybe some minor impacts, but I don't expect any tropical storm impacts by any means. Like I said, Haiti is in the question for a tropical storm landfall or a hurricane landfall. In this case, they have a Cat 2 hurricane. So we could have a hurricane landfall for Haiti, Jamaica, and then later down the line, I'm really watching more of the Yucatan Peninsula. right on this side, the eastern portion of the Yucatan Peninsula, maybe the western tip of Cuba as well, because this storm's going to have to go somewhere. I mean, it's not just going to sit here and then backtrack and dissipate. It's going to have to go straight towards either the Yucatan into Cuba, or worst case scenario, which I don't think is likely at all, into the Gulf of Mexico, and then eventually somewhere up into one of the southern portions of the United States. So, one of the southern U.S. states, I should say. So again, if you're in Florida, I think I mentioned this in my video this morning. If you're in this area, I would be keeping an eye on the system. There is no need to prepare for anything at this point. I would just be monitoring it, keeping an eye on it. It's probably a solid week out from any impacts in the Gulf at all. So I would not be worried if I'm in the Gulf of Mexico. You know, if I'm in Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, Alabama, Florida, even Mexico, I wouldn't be worried about this system at all. What if it turns north? Guess what? That's not a possibility. Some ensembles have the high pressure weakening, but we have a very solid high pressure that is in place that will block it from turning anywhere more north of the Lesser Antilles. Now, some ensembles have it clipping southwest Puerto Rico, but I really don't find that being a possibility. You could see when the high pressure starts to weaken and when your high pressure moves too far away from your storm because that cone widens. See how your cone's so tight here? It's not only because of predictability, but it's also because of that high pressure. Your cone's very tight towards the Lesser Antilles because, like I said, we're expecting a landfall in the Lesser Antilles, Category 3 intensity. Now, Red Omega has I believe this is the minimum wind speed sustained at 115 miles per hour on July 1st at 8 a.m. So we'll watch that very closely. We'll see how much the National Hurricane Center changes their forecast. We will be live for their advisory at 5 o'clock. I plan to be live. That's why I'm live now, so I can just see what that new advisory is with you guys. And there is another opportunity. There's another chance that we go live tonight. I think it's a higher chance that we go live tonight than it was now. So I do plan on being live tonight at about 7:15, 7:30 is what I'm looking at. I just want to go check this tornado warning real quick because I'm not looking at it. It's done. It's done. There's no need to really mention that. I don't know if V's in this live stream, but there is a considerable severe for Indianapolis. I know we had some viewers from there from a while ago. Just make sure you guys are indoors, away from doors and windows if you're in that yellow polygon. I know that's very populated, so I wanted to mention that. That is a potential damaging storm, winds up to 70 miles per hour. So like I said, we'll just kind of look at the tropical systems every now and, or not the tropical systems, but the storms every once in a while. Let me see this. Okay. I'm sorry, Lucky was texting me there. Let me go and switch you guys back over here. This is the official National Hurricane Center Outlook. So this is like their page. You should be, and I pray that you're very familiar with this. If you're not, I highly suggest you look up National Hurricane Center or nhc.noaa.gov. That would bring you to, I don't know exactly where that would bring you, but it should bring you generally right here to this page. And then you could just click Tropical Storm Barrel. The warnings and watches, that's all right here. We don't have any warnings. We should see at least a tropical storm warning out there for the oh man, that's northeast of Trinidad and Tobago. We should see at least a tropical storm warning for that area. You can see that M is for major hurricane, so that's Category 3. So we got tomorrow Category 1, and then tomorrow morning we're looking at this turning into a upper, higher end Cat 1, low end Cat 2. Tomorrow night, low end, mid-tier Cat 2. And then by the time we go into Monday morning, it should be a major hurricane. So the most rapid intensification phase should be between 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon and about 3 p.m. Monday morning, or I should say Monday afternoon. That 24-hour span should be the most rapid intensification we see. And remember, rapid intensification is 35 miles. A storm intensifies by 35 miles per hour in a 24-hour span. And I mean, I wonder if we've already hit that. We might actually have, because this was yesterday, this was at 40, and today, right now, it's at 65. So we've almost hit rapid intensification. It is already ongoing. This thing should continue to climb by 20 miles per hour. Almost every single update from here on out, we'll just see how fast it can do that. rapid intensification in 2024 be like 600 miles per hour in 5 minutes. No, that's how last year was with Otis. Welcome, Sebastian, James. Let's see, Michael. Glad to see you guys all in here. Paris, all good. Don't worry about being late. I'm just glad you're here. Florida, I don't think so. I saw someone on Twitter calling for that. I just had to mention that real quick. I saw somebody on Twitter was saying this could curve up to Florida. I am like 100% sure that that is not even a possibility unless this tropical storm can break through a high pressure that is currently located over like southwest Florida. I don't see how this thing is going to be heading towards Florida. The main track, and the track I've been saying for a long time now, and I'm still agreeing with, going up towards Jamaica, hopefully just south of Jamaica. That way Jamaica is spared. And I think it will go into the eastern Yucatan Peninsula, and then I think it will also go into Mexico. That's going to be where we'll have another opportunity for it to intensify further in the Southwest Gulf, but that's pretty far out. There's a lot of ensemble spread on that. I'll show you it now. Let me go to the ensemble means. That might help. Where did my voice just go there? But there you go. Yeah, see how all these... I actually didn't even know that they went out this far. These are the new ones. They all take it right into the eastern Yucatan Peninsula now. The GEFS ensembles were the ones that kept it closer going into the Gulf, and now those are on board with a Yucatan landfall. So I do think this will have another opportunity to form in the southwest Gulf of Mexico. If not, it would probably just dissipate over the Yucatan. So that's what we're keeping an eye on. I really think that it's going to hit southern Lesser Antilles, stay south of Puerto Rico. This is where the even more uncertainty begins, but I believe it's going to stay south of Jamaica, then hit the Yucatan Peninsula, and then try to re-intensify in the southwest Gulf and make landfall in Mexico. Is who knows how strong. Could be a tropical depression, could be just some rain, could be a tropical storm. Who knows? That's too far out to determine. But we'll just keep an eye on every single model run that comes through and see what they show. Now, speaking of model runs, I didn't show this in my video at all. Kind of wanted to save it for my live streams. Here is the H-Wharf. This is the newer one, the 12Z. I'm yet to look at this. I bet it hasn't become a Cat 4. Well, there's a 965. Oh. That was kind of a joke. Oh, wow. That is a Category 5. That is a borderline Category 5. Wow. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah. Down to a down to a 934 millibar? Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. There's no way. If that does happen, this would take it right into the eastern Yucatan, and that would be a very bad situation because it would still intensify to a Cat 3. This is H-Wharf, y'all. I don't know if this thing's ever been correct before in its entire lifetime. It tends to always overdo intensity, so I'm not going to take that seriously whatsoever. The H-Mon, I like the H-Mon a bit better. That has become in a Category 3, maybe even pushing a Category 4 west of the Lesser Antilles, and then kind of sustaining at a Cat 2, then weakening to a Cat 1, and then really staying around that Cat 1, low in Cat 2 wind speeds there. So that's a lot more of a realistic scenario, just going through that. Well, that's unrealistic right off the bat. I don't think this thing's down to a 980. I don't think this thing's down to a 980 yet, is it? No, it's still a 998. So that's another issue. This thing has it starting off at a 980 millibar. That's already way too strong. The H-Wharf started it off at a 992, which is a lot more realistic, unfortunately. That is a lot more realistic than the H-Mon. So I don't know. We'll just have to see. It just depends on how much this storm wants to be annoying. But that definitely could be a possibility for a Category 3 for sure. Yeah, there's the HWFI, whatever the heck that is. That takes it into a high-end category 4. I really don't see that being a possibility. You can see that that is a big outlier. Like I said, I think we may push a high-end Cat 3 west of the Lesser Antilles. I believe we could push a high-end category 3, but right around category 3 intensity, low-end, mid-tier, high-end, we're going to see a category 3. I don't think there's a way we don't see a category 3. Some of these models, I don't know who invented that thing, but they need to fix it. They need to fix it. They have it just plummeting down. I wonder if that's going to stay like that the whole time. This thing's going to be a category 3, and then the blue one's just going straight down to a tropical storm. We'll see. I want to see if that stays there forever, or if it fixes itself. Hello, Caden. Yeah, this shows multiple model runs. Southern Texas could get some impacts if we manage to see this storm move off to the southwest as it passes Jamaica. Like I said, it's a possibility that it hits the Yucatan Peninsula, goes in the southwest Gulf, but it would kind of be like that other tropical storm we had. I can't even remember its name, Alberto or whatever it was, where you feel some impacts in southern Texas, but I'm not expecting a direct landfall anywhere in the U.S. from this system at the moment. So again, there is your intensity guidance. Most of these intensity guidance models have it getting to at least a high in Cat 2. Pretty much all of them have it at a Cat 3. And then we just have some outliers that keep it at a tropical storm low in Cat 1. And then this one. So we have one outlier that goes to a high in Cat 4 and one outlier that goes back to a tropical depression. So those you do not want to listen to, don't listen to this one and don't listen to this one. You want to follow where that tight member group spread is, which is at this point right in here. That's your tight member group spread, which you can see, like I said, after 84, 96 hours out, once it goes west of the Dominican Republic, southwest of the Dominican Republic, that's when a lot of uncertainty is very, very much present. So we'll just keep an eye on this, see if those models maintain it or if it begins to weaken. I personally believe that it will begin to weaken. The National Hurricane Center currently says that it will weaken, so that's what I'm anticipating. I don't see this thing being a Category 2 or a Category 3 hurricane too long in the Caribbean. It should weaken at least somewhat once it goes south of Haiti, heads towards Jamaica. This is on track to be the second earliest major hurricane ever. That is crazy. It's already broken the record for the earliest tropical storm as far east as it is. All right, see you later, Isabel. So it's already breaking some records. And it will probably break more. Let's see what we just got. Oh, a severe thunderstorm watch. Okay. That's in West Virginia. All right, let's go over to, let's see, what else do we have to look at here? Rainfall totals still look the same as when I did the video earlier today. Higher in totals of 6 to 8 inches of rainfall will be possible. I do think they'll move that a bit more west, but I don't expect it to climb too far. We might get into that 8 to 12 rainfall range. Let's go ahead and take a look at what some deterministic models say for that. I have not looked at the deterministic model runs for the rainfall totals, so let's go over to our total precipitation. The GFS model has about 6-7 inches of rainfall over the southern Lesser Antilles. So that's not too far from their forecast at the moment whatsoever. The HWRF, is that going to even have it? Don't know if the HWRF even has precipitation. I mean, it has your rainfall like this, your simulated reflectivity. So I imagine that's going to be quite a lot of rain. I think Radar Omega has access to that. Tropical HWRF barrel. No, they don't have it for the Gracious Day. Let me show you guys this one. They don't have it for precipitation. Look at that. That is something. That is a big eye. Of course, this is future forecast here. Look at that. Gracious Day. This is the model that has it being a Cat 4. So that'd be a Cat 4 southwest of the Dominican Republic, which I don't see that being a possibility personally. We'll see. Um, about this frame is where I think it will be peak intensity July 2nd around 8 a.m. I think that's going to be when we start to peak at intensity with this storm. Could be dead wrong. Never know. But look at that. Let me get rid of the National Hurricane Center outlook so you can see that a bit better. Let me close all that out. So there's the big eye of this hurricane. I don't think it's going to be that large. If it is, I will be very surprised. Look at it. It just continues to track northwest, goes right on the northern side of Jamaica, doesn't even lose intensity, and just keeps going. Man, that is such an unrealistic forecast from this model run. My word. So here's your rapid intensification phase, by the way. So right now we're pretty disorganized. Generally, this is what your system's going to look like right now. And then tonight it's going to begin to intensify quite quickly. And then it will just continue to rapidly intensify all the way even beyond the Lesser Antilles here. So, I mean, that is, look at that. That would be a really bad situation. Does a major hurricane expected to the Barbados affect major hurricane? It's the same hurricane. I mean, it's the exact same hurricane. So, like I said, I don't think it's going to hit Puerto Rico much of, if at all. Trinidad and Tobago's, that's possible. It's possible that we see it go that far south in terms of some isolated heavy rainfall. But a tropical storm and hurricane impacts, I think that's really going to be limited towards the southern Lesser Antilles. I don't think it will hit much of, if any, of Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands. And then, like I said, we could have a very close call between Jamaica as well as Haiti. I drew those backwards. This is Jamaica. This is Haiti. That could be a very close call. That's going to be something we need to watch very, very closely, because it could be a very real possibility to see a landfalling hurricane in Jamaica or Haiti, or who knows, possibly even both. It could clip the southwest portion of Haiti and then impact Jamaica as well. So there's a few question marks that we will eventually work out once we get towards the Dominican Republic, south of Puerto Rico. Once we're at this point, 75 hours, the morning of July 2nd, maybe if we're lucky, the night hours of July 1st, we should know a lot more in terms of where this system's going to go beyond west of the Lesser Antilles, because at this point, there's just too much uncertainty south of the Dominican Republic. So, yeah, just a lot of uncertainty. Just make sure you guys are, really, really, really weather aware. Like I said, if I live out there in the Lesser Antilles, honestly, personally, I'd evacuate. That's my personal opinion. You don't have to, okay? You don't need to, unless, now I haven't looked at the local evacuations. I don't think they're calling for evacuations yet in the Lesser Antilles, but I personally would just, evacuate this island, really. That's my opinion. I know that's a whole lot harder than just evacuate the island. It's a lot more difficult. So, at the minimum, make sure you're preparing. We're giving you a decent heads up. We've been watching this system for not too long. Okay, we weren't that good with it. I know one of my friends called this thing out 8 days in advance for possible impacts for the Lesser Antilles, but at that point, he was just guessing. So we didn't give that big of a warning. We gave about 48 hours prior of this of a warning, so not that big of a warning, but you still have a good solid 40 hours before this system starts impacting the Lesser Antilles. So at the least, prepare for major hurricane impacts. Okay, we're looking at sustained winds possibly around the realms of 130, gust possibly up to 140, 145, maybe worst case scenario. Really high-end rainfall totals up to, I'd say, 8-9 inches of rainfall will be possible with this. More likely 6 to 7 inches of rainfall. Storm surge, I can't comment on that. I'm just going to wait until the National Hurricane Center says something about storm surge. I don't know the geography around here. I don't know the landscaping. I don't know the terrain. So I don't know how storm surge would impact these islands. But like I said, if I'm out here, in St. Vincent and the I just can't pronounce some of these things, I would just evacuate. That's one of the islands that are anticipated to take a direct hit from this storm. So here is your projected track. They have it a little bit further south, actually. They have it just slightly further south. But still, I mean, right around this area, somebody's going to have a landfalling hurricane here. Somebody. It may be Grenada. It may be the St. Vincent area. It may be in between towards Port Elizabeth. Somebody's going to be directly smacked by a major hurricane, and it's going to be really, really bad. So make sure you're preparing now if you're anywhere in these islands. I don't know the population or anything of that. Just make sure you're preparing. I'm sure there's a couple thousand people out here, at least. Barbados seems to be one of the more populated, very populated areas. So I would be preparing. Again, I don't think it's necessary to evacuate if you're in Barbados just yet, but I would 100% be preparing for major hurricane impacts. Let's see. Do you think this could become a low-end Cat 4? I think it's possible, but I wouldn't be forecasting that. Like I said, I think we're looking at more of a... the best opportunity for that would be when it's away from land right here, when it's really just impacting the fish. That's your best opportunity for this thing to hit Category 4 status. Lesser Antilles, you're looking at a low-end, maximum mid-tier Cat 3. And then Jamaica, there's just so much uncertainty. We could see this little icon here. That could change to a 3. That could stay to a 2. Please, I'd love it if that went to a 1. But I just don't feel like that's going to be a possibility. I really like the forecast that they have currently. I think it's a solid forecast. Let me go to the active, this stuff here, tracks. Yeah, so they're forecasting sustained winds at 115 with gusts of 140. That is a low-end Category 3, pretty sure. I think it could get higher than that. I definitely think it could get higher than that. I think it could even get higher than that, making landfall in the southern Lesser Antilles. We could quite easily push, in my opinion, I think we could push 125, 130 sustained. 130 is a bit overboard. I'm going to say 120, 125. Let me rephrase it. I think we're going to push 120, 125 in the southern Lesser Antilles. 130 is like, you know, if we're really unlucky, south of Puerto Rico, this may push 130. Are you still calling for no hyperactive season, or are you back for the hyperactive season train? I mean, regardless, it's going to be active. It just depends what you consider hyperactive. I still think we're going to see, we're going to get very close to the Greek alphabet. We're either going to be at the end of the alphabet or into the Greek alphabet. We're either going to be like 1, maybe 2 storms away from it, or we're going to be in the Greek alphabet. So it's going to be active. Let me go back over here. You're welcome, Paris. That's if I even answered your question. Chip did. Tropical Tidbits. Yeah. I'm looking at everything else. Like, here, let me send you, which one are you wanting? See the ensemble models. Yeah, let me give you this site. Now, this site's only going to work for this one storm. After that, like this particular model run, after that, you're going to have to, let me show you. You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to go to products, and then you're going to have to go to tropical cyclones, and then whichever one you want, in this case, barrel. And then if we go down here, you'll see the super ensemble plots. So you want to click this right here. And then that will give you all the ensembles. This is one of my favorite sites for hurricanes, because it shows you just how crazy, the uncertainty is towards the Gulf. Anywhere in this blue area, this system could track, and the intensity is going to vary tremendously. Let's look at some of our, okay, how did I do this? How did I do this last time? Okay, well, here's your GEFS ensembles. And you can see a lot of them rapidly weaken it in the Southwest Central Caribbean. Here is your European models. Yikes. Yikes. I don't really see that being a possibility. Category 4 hurricane going towards Louisiana. I don't think that's going to be possible. That's the European model, which is apparently considered conservative. There's the CMC, which I think is a lot better. That shows worst case scenario, like a Cat 1 going towards southern Texas. The UK models don't, yeah, these just don't render in half the time. So, yeah, I don't know what the European's on. I don't know why the European has like a category 4, almost a category 5 near Jamaica, and then a category 4 heading towards Louisiana and Texas. I don't know why the Euro models show that. I just wouldn't trust that. I just don't think that's a possibility. I don't think that's a possibility. But at this point, again, this is where I think we could be pushing that category 4 status right here, south of Puerto Rico, well to the southeast of the Dominican Republic. I think we might push category 4 status at that point. Which some models, some of these ensembles, look at that. Some of them actually take it into Haiti and the Dominican Republic, and some take it into Jamaica. The big issue with Jamaica is if this system goes over Jamaica, the system's like probably not even going to weaken. It's probably not even going to weaken if it hits Jamaica. And that would be the biggest issue because Jamaica is very much probable to tropical storms and hurricanes. And if we get a Cat 4 for Jamaica, like the Europeans saying, which I think is honestly near impossible, it will be devastating. But again, I think that's near impossible. I don't see that being a possibility. Just come back here late July 1st, early June 2nd, whenever we're live, and I'll update y'all on that. I just don't really think, I just really don't think that would be a possibility. That's my opinion. I just feel like the European is doing something wrong or something. Something's got to be wrong. And there's a lot of uncertainty too. Jamaica, you're definitely not in the you're gonna get hit path. And now you are in the you could possibly see hurricane impacts path. So if I'm in Jamaica, better safe than sorry. Just go ahead and start preparations now. Start preparations now in Jamaica for hurricane force. Wind speeds now. It should be a higher end category 1 hurricane, which that should have wind speeds right around 90-95 miles per hour being possible sustained. So I would prepare for hurricane force impacts if I'm in Jamaica. But I just don't see this scenario where we have a Cat 4 going into Jamaica. I don't find that being a possibility. But then again, I didn't think we'd be dealing with a Category 3 hurricane heading towards the Lesser Antilles. So I'm definitely wrong with that. Normally, I'm really conservative with my forecast. I don't like to call for anything too over the top. So I was talking about this being more of a tropical storm, possible lower end hurricane. Should have the new advisory out soon. Oh. Yeah, it's a hurricane. So this is a hurricane, like I thought. Burial is now a hurricane and is forecasted to rapidly intensify and is expected to bring life-threatening winds and storm surge to the Windward Islands as a major hurricane. Currently at a 992 millibar. That is on track with the H-Wharf. Dude, that's on track with the H-Wharf, which has like a Cat 4. And even, closing in on a Cat 5 for Jamaica. But I don't feel like the H-Wharf's correct. I just don't. But it is now a hurricane. It's still anticipated to rapidly intensify. It's still anticipated to rapidly intensify. It doesn't look like the timing of the cone or the location of the cone moved much at all. Barely any. It really doesn't look like it moved at all. But there you go. It's a hurricane. That advisory's out very early. I'm used to the National Weather Service where everything's 20-30 minutes late. So I'm not too shocked. Look at that. It might be making an attempt at an eye. There's a chance it's already making an attempt at an eye. Now, like I said, we do have an eye with this system. The core low pressure already has an eye with it. It's just you don't have that traditional eye satellite imagery just yet. So the actual core of the low pressure has an eye, but the satellite, the infrared, it doesn't. Long story short, what that means is this storm will be able to intensify. Oh, Lord, yeah, they did. They changed it. They did change the intensity a bit. They are forecasting 120. Major hurricane for just south of Barbados. Yeah, they did change that. Look at that. So now this is a 3. So that is going to rapidly strengthen, dude. So this is going to be a very dangerous situation for the southern Lesser Antilles. 120. Oh, they do have it getting to 120, not 125. I think it will be able to push 125 west of the Lesser Antilles. But they're now forecasting 120, which they were at 115. It's still a Cat 2 for Jamaica. It's still a Cat 1 southwest of the Cayman Islands. So, biggest impacts are by far going to be for the southern Lesser Antilles. It could be a very catastrophic situation out there. I do plan to live stream this, by the way. Currently, we're anticipating landfall right around, I think, 7, 8 a.m. is what they were talking for July 1st. The H-Wharf has landfall being at 2 p.m., so that'd be much better to track. So we'll just see. We will just see. Let's see here. Zekdex, no channel names. That's just a thing we've had on this channel forever. But I'll still read your comment. I think this is going to Cat 4 based on some of the newer models. Right now I'm forecasting more of a mid-tier Cat 3, but yeah, I could see it running for a Cat 4. I could definitely see it running for a Cat 4. Now, will it be a Cat 4? Not forecasted, but west, like I've been saying for a long time, west of the Lesser Antilles, south of Puerto Rico, south of the Dominican Republic, generally in that area. I think it's going to make a run for it, but that's just something we'll have to determine once the system forms an eye. That's really the big key here. The more this storm continues to the west, the more we know, obviously. The core has already formed. That's why they've upgraded that to a Category 1 hurricane, because it could easily rapidly intensify. Not only that, but once the eye starts poking out on satellite imagery, then we're going to start knowing exactly where that low pressure is going to track, because the eye will be a lot more, we'll be able to see exactly where that low pressure is located pretty much 24/7. Yeah, the highest is a low in Cat 4. Yeah. This is not going to make a run for a Cat 5. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Honestly, Otis did it in 24 hours. Otis went from, a tropical storm to a Cat 5 in 24 hours, and that was anticipated to make landfall as a tropical storm. So, you can't say it won't be Cat 5, but nothing shows it. Nothing shows Cat 5 out of this. I'm already blown away. I'm already shocked. We've got a Category 3 on our hands in freaking late June. That is pure insanity. That is pure insanity. A Category 3 in late June, early July is crazy. That is just pure insanity. I don't know if we've ever heard of that one before. You got a birthday hurricane? Is it your birthday? If it is, happy birthday. If not, then happy birthday, because you're going to get a birthday eventually. I'll probably forget. I'm really good at remembering. Honestly, I think this could intensify way more rapidly. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it could intensify way more rapidly than that. Like, right here, I feel like that's not climbing fast enough. This storm could, once it gets, oh, well, never mind. That is a big jump. Never mind. You see that? That's a 20-mile-an-hour jump in one day. It may do more than that. It may actually do more than that. That's why they pushed the Category 3 symbol back here, because this storm is expected to really intensify. We do have a new AOI over here. Oh, that's at a 50-50 too. They upped that. Eh. That's up to 70%. By the way, we are looking at a tropical storm impacting the Lesser Antilles late next week. Another storm's anticipated, and it's probably going to be a tropical storm. Now that one will not have a chance to make a run at major hurricane status just due to the fact that this storm's going to take up half the ingredients. It's going to be using all that heat, all the moisture in the air as well. It's going to take up everything. But the system is, the second system's far enough behind where I think it could become a tropical storm. Oh yeah, we already know it's going to rapidly intensify. I almost feel like it's going to rapidly intensify more than what the National Hurricane Center is predicting. They're currently predicting from it going from a 75 mile per hour hurricane now, and then within, what is that, about 2 days from now? That's like 30-ish hours away, 115. So it's going to rapidly intensify, but I would almost say maybe even more than that. Maybe even more than what they're forecasting. And hurricane models show that too. I don't think, like the GFS is going to show that. I'm curious, does the GFS have an eye? Let's see this. It does. It's not very obvious, but the GFS does show an eye. That's because it's very low resolution. And then here's the HMON. I like the HMON better, but even the HMON, yeah, the system doesn't look like this. The system does not look like this currently. We do not have that well-defined of an eye yet. And let me see what the H-Wharf has here. Now, the H-Wharf, I believe, is... Oops, I did the wrong one. The H-Wharf, I believe, is more on track with the... Yeah, with the current intensity. See that? It is a bit more on track, so... Unfortunately, the Category 4 that the HMON has, and then eventually pushing Category 5 near Jamaica, I wonder if that might be on the table. I want to look at the... ingredients here. What's our wind shear? That's really the number one thing I want to see. Is that wind shear still there? Because I feel like hurricane models might not be taking into account the wind shear. Something's got to be happening for the HMON to show a high in Cat 4, maybe even push Cat 5. Yeah, see, there's quite a lot of wind shear south of the Dominican Republic and south of Haiti. And I wonder if the HMON just does not show that. Let's see. I don't think this is really going to be able to pick up on any wind shear in front of it, but I wonder if the HMON just doesn't have wind shear with this. Yeah, the wind shear is what's going to help this thing rapidly intensify, because we don't have any. And then that's where our predictability, like I've talked about 2 days, almost 3 days ago now in my previous video, because I put out 3 of them. We have a pocket of wind shear that creates a lot of uncertainty right here. That's a pocket of wind shear. So that's why a lot of our uncertainty begins back over in this area here as the system approaches that wind shear. And then models just go everywhere. Models really just go everywhere once the system goes south of Dominican Republic. And they also vary a lot in intensity. Wow. Absolutely crazy. So let me refresh this so we have a current look. That's a current look at Hurricane. Now Hurricane Barrel. Hurricane Barrel, which is aimed directly towards the southern Lesser Antilles. Like I said, if you're in Barbados, St. Vincent, Grenada, make sure you have major hurricane preparations ongoing now. Consider evacuating if it's possible, because this will reach Category 3 intensity with winds of possibly up to 120 miles per hour, sustained, and gusts of 140. So it is going to be a very serious and most likely a very life-threatening situation for the Southern Lesser Antilles. And you guys are used to this stuff, but not in June. Not in June and early July. And I don't know if it's very common to see a Cat 3 in the Southern Lesser Antilles. I've tracked plenty of hurricanes in the Southern Lesser Antilles. I can recall like 2 majors and then this one here. Maybe even 1 major. I don't think it's too common to see major hurricanes in the Southern Lesser Antilles. And again, definitely not at this time. Yeah, Cat 5, I really don't see that being a possibility unless something like the wind shear just poof. If the wind shear just goes poof south of the Dominican Republic and is gone, then we're in trouble, even more than we already are. But I really don't see that being a possibility. I think that wind shear is going to be at least a little bit of a saving grace for us. Hopefully a lot of it of a saving grace. Let's see. The National Hurricane Center will be live at about 10 minutes. I don't know if we're going to watch that live. I'm pretty sure I can watch it live with you guys because it's the National Hurricane Center, but I don't know. Yes, the HMON is. Both of our hurricane models show a Category 4. Both of them. And then our global models show like a Cat 2, Cat 3, which is why the National Hurricane Center is currently showing a kind of a mid-tier Category 3. They're going in between the global and the hurricane models. A lot of our hurricane models overdo the intensity, though. I've just found that out. I only use 2 hurricane models, the H1 and the H-Wharf. I like the H-Mon better, but the H-Mon's a little bit less accurate for this system because it already has it being a fully established eye, which it doesn't have a fully established eye, but man, is it trying. It's definitely trying to get an eye. I wonder if either one of these hurricane models have our 94L forming. H-Mon, not really. H-Wharf. Bring y'all back over here. The H-Wharf tries to organize this 94L a lot. It is on the table that we see a depression out for this in the Southwest Gulf. This is 94L, our other AOI. But I don't see a whole lot with that. But we'll watch it just in case. So again, here's the H-Wharf. The H-Wharf had this at... I'm going to go check. I'm going to go check. The H-Wharf for barrel currently has it at a 992, which is now correct. Actually, it has it at a 992 at 8. So it's actually stronger now than what the H-Wharf says. I don't know about that. I don't know about the H-Wharf being right. I don't feel like... I mean, is this thing actually going to be able to make a run for Cat 5? I don't think it will. I just don't really believe the H-Wharf here. I think we could... We're going to be Category 3 on the Lesser Antilles. I really don't see a way we're not. But we might actually make a solid run for Cat 5 if that wind shear cannot be as bad south of the Dominican. But again, I just don't see that being a possibility. But the H-Wharf shows that, like, clear as day. You got a 930... What did I say? 933? Yeah, 934 millibar Cat 5. Or extreme upper echelon Cat 4. Knowing the National Hurricane Center, if that actually happened to be classified as 155, it'd be one off. Just like they do with our tornadoes, one off of VF5s. Oh, Bella. I mean, we've got plenty of spaghetti models. I've found a lot more recently. But, I mean, we've got so many different ones. Here's all 3 of them. So there's all 3 of them. You can see how there's a lot of uncertainty, like I said. South of the Dominican Republic, right here, that uncertainty really kicks up. Ensembles, for some reason, the median still has us at 992. That is frankly impossible. I don't see a way how we're at 992 with this system moving onshore. To put it in perspective, we are at 992. We are at a 992 millibar now, 5 p.m. Eastern advisory. I don't see it staying 992 for that entire time. I think that's impossible that we stay at that low of a millibar the whole time. And you can see, like I said, this actually, what even is this? Oh, these are just all the model runs in general. They're actually pretty tight spread up until south of Cuba this time. So our ensembles split up towards south of the Dominican, southwest of Puerto Rico, which is like right here. But our models, which is what you're looking at now, they start splitting up south of Cuba. So it's definitely on the table that we see a landfall in Jamaica. I think it's a lot less likely for Haiti, but Jamaica, it's definitely on the table for a Jamaica landfall out of this. Intensity-wise, currently Category 2. That might make a run for Category 3. Worst case scenario, we could even push higher than that based off the hurricane models. But I really feel like all these hurricane models are just doing what they always do and showing a Cat 5 no matter what the conditions are. So I don't feel like we should really be listening to them. Let's see here. Just taking a look at some of our storms over here. I don't think we will either, but I'm just very surprised that the hurricane models show that. Especially out of this system. It's just not something I'd expect them to do. So, like I said, I think this is going to make a run for Category 4 west of the Lesser Antilles. That's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting this to continue to rapidly strengthen, hit Category 3, hit the Southern Lesser Antilles around 120, 125, begin to possibly push Category 4 status south of Puerto Rico, and then begin to weaken as it nears Jamaica and maybe makes landfall over Jamaica and then heads towards the Yucatan Peninsula and then moves into the southwest Gulf of Mexico. Pretty much exactly what Hurricane Emily did, I believe it was, in 2005. Pretty much exactly that. It really looks like a repeat of Emily, I believe is what that tropical, or rather what that hurricane was called. Well, it would be a Category 4 in early July, actually. This point here would be where I think it makes a run for Category 4, which would be late on the 1st, early on the 2nd. Haley, I got enough. I played enough of Outbreak to the point where I loved it. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I'm still in between an 8 and a 9, but really a 9. Man, absolutely crazy. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like button and share the stream. It's great that all you guys are in here. It means a lot. And thank you guys for watching the video. I'm sure about half of you guys watched the video earlier today, if not most of you guys. And that is currently our second most viewed video of the channel. Now, given a lot of the videos were deleted due to a just channel reset almost. And that actually may make a run for the most viewed video. That's at about 7,000 right now. So I appreciate the support on that video as well as on this live stream. And we're going to stay live here. According to some newer data, the tornado threat increases in eastern PA at about 7, 8 o'clock. I don't think about that. I don't think that's going to happen. You got to know the biases. That's the thing with weather. You have to know the biases. You have to know what models overcalculate what. And frankly, hurricane models, I just don't trust. I flat out don't trust hurricane models. I think the most reliable model for hurricanes is the ensembles and the just combining every model into a chart and seeing what they say. I don't think there's one model that's better than the other. I think every last model has its flaws, especially in tropical season. So again, if I'm out here in St. Vincent, Grenada, I would consider evacuating. I don't know how many people we have out there. Another heads up, there's tropical storm watches, as well as hurricane watches out. I don't think I have those available on here. Yeah, they're not available for the Lesser Antilles. I think that's because they're issued by a different, they're not issued by the US, I think. I'm not for sure about that, but I believe they're not issued by the US. Oh, well, we actually have a hurricane warning now. So we actually have an upgrade to a hurricane warning for the Barbados. So Barbados, you're now inside a hurricane warning. That means hurricane impacts are expected in the next, 48 hours. I believe that's 48 hours for a hurricane warning. See if they say it down here. I don't know. Yeah, but that's your hurricane warning. So your warnings are coming out. You can see their track actually looks a little bit further south, in my opinion. Like they're starting to forecast it going into the Yucatan Peninsula. I really don't see a way how it does the European and goes yoink Cat 4 to Louisiana or Cat 4 into Texas. I just don't see that possibility. Who knows though? But anyways, they also extended those tropical storm watches. They now go pretty far up there to the north. Those are all the way up there, I believe, towards the Guadeloupe area. Maybe even as far north as Argentina and Barbados. It might be a little bit south of that. I believe Argentina and Barbados here-ish. And then you also have your tropical or your hurricane watches. So pink is hurricane watches, yellow is tropical storm watches, and red is a hurricane warning. Now, if you saw blue on here, it'd be a tropical storm watch. Some European ensembles, yeah, they do have actually a Cat 4 for heading towards Louisiana, heading towards Texas, both of them. So, my goodness, we have started out very active in the hurricane season. Already had our first name storm, and I did not expect this. Even the Climate Prediction Center noted that there was a very unfavorable environment, and then this just popped out of nowhere. It was like, nah, it's not going to be unfavorable. Now we have a favorable, the most favorable environment. So I don't know where this thing came from, but my word, it really snuck up on us. And it escalated fast. It was possible depression, possible storm, possible hurricane, category 3 hurricane. It's like we really escalated. It felt like every 3 hours we were climbing up the charts on how significant this thing would be. And now we're at hurricane warnings too. So just a whole lot of things to keep an eye out regarding tropical activity. And then we have, like I said, we have another wave behind this that has a solid chance of becoming a tropical storm for the Lesser Antilles, pretty much the same area all over again. I don't know exactly when that will be. We could go ahead and take a bit of a look into that. Oh, y'all are already on this screen. I didn't even notice that. No kidding how long y'all have been sitting on the wrong screen. Yeah, GFS does show this possibly making a run for a depression in the Southwest Gulf, so we'll keep an eye on that. And then there's our other tropical storm that will possibly form as early as July 2nd. And it might have a running shot at a hurricane where this current system barrel has a running shot at a Cat 4 south of Puerto Rico. There's a lot of model uncertainty that we're just going to have to keep an eye on that, but we're anticipating a minimum a tropical depression from this storm. That is our other storm, by the way, so we'll keep an eye on that. And we do have a third wave to watch. You see that here around July 8th into July 9th. We have a third wave, but it seems like conditions get a whole heck of a lot less favorable for tropical development in that time frame, so I don't anticipate anything out of that. But again, we'll have to monitor it because that's how this little thing started here. It started as it's just a 1005 low pressure, and now it's like 1060 low pressure. That's a bit of a bigger deal here. So we'll just keep an eye on it. And then there's the other AOI and the EPAC that they also just recently highlighted too. That we'll see. Currently, I don't expect much from that, but it may make a run at a tropical depression too. I mean, shoot, we might as well just draw pink all over this map and just say tropical depression's possible all over here. I mean, we're going to have possibly 4. We could have as many as 4 tropical depressions in the next week. We could have one here. We already have a hurricane here, but we could have another one here and then another one here. And I don't see that third wave being much of an issue, like I said. I really don't think that's anything to worry about. All right, let's go to our... Are they planning on a recon mission? Not at the moment. I don't believe this recon is in position to go into the storm. What they did was they moved this Hurricane Recon aircraft from Florida, and then they're moving it to Puerto Rico. So that way, when the time comes, we're going to have some hurricane hunters flying into the hurricane. They fly into everything that's not a Category 5. They did decide to abort Laurel, was it? I forgot what it was, 2021, going towards southwestern Louisiana due to the lightning activity in that one. But typically, they'll go in anything that's a Category 1, 2, 3, 4, and not a 5. Oops. I just clicked YouTube somehow. Clicked off of that really quick. Yeah, we're not going on to YouTube yet. Actually, the National Hurricane Center may be live. Oh, yep.
Tropical depression as it moves into the southern Gulf of Mexico over the next day or so. This system's going to emerge out here in the southern Gulf.
He's slightly
move towards the western Gulf Coast to the coast of Mexico here during the day on Sunday. We could see a short-lived tropical depression or even tropical storm form.
Whoa.
But the main impact from this system is going to be that heavy rainfall as it moves from the Yucatan into Mexico. Otherwise, we are also looking at a broad area of low pressure that's formed out here in the
that's the other
eastern
one
tropical Atlantic. And that system, as I go back to the outlook here, has a 30% chance of becoming a tropical depression or tropical storm over the next 2 days, but a 70% chance, a high chance of formation of becoming a tropical depression.
Yeah, I can't really see it too far to the east
across
there.
the tropical
It's
Atlantic.
Right here.
It could reach the Windward Islands, the
Very
Lesser
sideways.
Antilles, later next week. So this will be something we'll want to watch after Beryl moves out. We could be looking at another system approaching the islands there. So again, just a reminder, the key messages for Beryl were the concern of a major hurricane impacting Barbados, the Windward Island chain, as we go from Sunday night into Monday. With the potential for destructive hurricane force winds, life-threatening storm surge inundation. So folks in those islands, please prepare. Please listen to any advice that you're given by your local government officials. And stay tuned to hurricanes.gov for more information as we go throughout the rest of the weekend and into early next week. I'm Mike Brennan here at the National Hurricane Center.
There you go. We caught the tail end of it. He did say the possibility for a tropical storm in the Southwest Gulf. That's from NOAA/National Weather Service, National Hurricane Center on YouTube. You could go watch the full briefing there if you'd like. They only do like 7-minute briefings. But it's still informative to the public, and a lot of people watch it, which is always fantastic. Glad to see they have their channel back up and running. Normally they take a little bit of a break, but they always come back during the hurricane seasons. That's when it's most active, too. I mean, there's no point in them covering things that aren't hurricanes because they're the National Hurricane Center. I do want to take a quick peek at the severe weather once again. We'll use this program for that. Well, there's your hurricane, by the way. This is your current satellite imagery or water vapor imagery. I see the infrared and the visible. This is your visible. We're starting to lose daylight out here, but... yeah, this is a couple, this is way too long ago. I don't want to go that long ago. Yeah, let's go a bit further so we can see at least more details. But look at that thing. Look at the LLCs wrapping around that. I mean, this is a very healthy hurricane. A very healthy hurricane. I don't think we'll see too much intensification overnight. Actually, that's when the National Hurricane Center anticipates the majority of the intensification. So maybe this will just explode overnight. But I think the primary intensification phase will be all day tomorrow. Tomorrow should be a focal point for the intensity of this hurricane. Flash warning. I didn't know it was going to do that. I already loaded this up before the live stream. But it wants to... oh, well, now it's not doing it. So there's your hurricane. Now I gotta get used to saying hurricane after I'm used to saying tropical storm. So just make sure you guys are preparing for tropical storm hurricane force impacts out there in the Leeward Islands, Lesser Antilles. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could stay alive longer. We'll hold on. Let me see. Let me check something. We're definitely gonna be live. If we don't stay live here, we'll definitely go live again tonight. Currently, I have a stream. I believe we're gonna plan it for 7:15, right around there, and we'll probably be live from 7:15 to 9 or so. And I think Lucky will join us in that stream too, so we should have somebody else with more input. Yeah, I did know that, Haley. I was keeping an eye on it. I just couldn't go live yesterday. I had to rest my voice for a couple days. So, 2-day break. I'm glad I took a break while I did, because it's very, very active with the tropics. 4 systems to watch. This doesn't show them all, but we've got one out here. Big hurricane here. Another one out here. And another one out here. So, 4 systems to watch. This one, big issue. Major hurricane, Category 3 expected. Potentially going to make a run for a Category 4 as it goes west of the Lesser Antilles and then progresses up towards Jamaica as a Category 2, Category 1 hurricane. So this thing's going to be a big deal as it moves up to the northwest over the next couple days. You can see that forecast above my face cam. That's the National Hurricane Center cone. A lot of confidence in a landfalling major hurricane in the southern Lesser Antilles. Rapid intensification is expected overnight, as well as rapid intensification expected all day tomorrow, and even beyond that. So we should continue to see this storm continue to intensify rapidly, possibly over the next 48 to 72 hours. The NHC really has it starting to stop intensifying around July 2nd, morning of July 2nd. So that really nocturnal cycle of the 1st. So we're looking at a solid 40 hours of rapid intensification. Probably 2 days worth of rapid intensification. Like I said, we're expected to go from just moments ago, we were at a 60-mile-an-hour tropical storm. And over the next 48 hours, we're expecting it to get all the way up to 120. So from 60 to 120, that's doubling it. That is rapid intensification. Like I said, rapid intensification is 25-mile-an-hour wind speeds increase over the course of 24 hours. I believe. Or is it 35? Did I say 25 or 35 for those who may remember? It's been a minute, but I did refresh my memory on that, and then I forgot. 35. 35, not 25. 35 miles per hour over the course of 24 hours. So just make sure you guys, like I said, if you're out there in the tropical storm watches, the hurricane warning, make sure you are preparing for the impacts that are listed on those warnings and watches, or watches and warnings, said it the wrong way around. Again, here is your current look at the National Hurricane Center advisory as of 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Hurricane Beryl is currently located at about, 850 miles east now. Actually 750 miles east of the Lesser Antilles, moving up to the northwest rapidly, and will eventually approach the Lesser Antilles on the night of Sunday into the morning of Monday. Most likely time frame is the morning of Monday. Hurricane warning already out there in the red. That is going to include the island of Barbados. Hurricane watches out for the southern Lesser Antilles. Tropical storm watches out for just to the north of that, which is going to be up towards the Dominica, and also out there just to the northeast of Trinidad and Tobago for the island of I don't know. For the island of I don't know. I'm not 100% familiar with all the islands out here. And then, like I said, eventually it's going to start making its way out towards Jamaica, where it should weaken, but we'll probably still have at minimum tropical storm force impacts for the island of Jamaica around midday Wednesday. So still a lot to keep an eye on, still a lot to watch very closely. And we'll see how much this storm can continue to rapidly intensify. Again, here's our current look at the satellite imagery. Go ahead and refresh this, make sure it's the current satellite imagery. Yep, satellite imagery here. This is it looping, of course. And again, just a very impressive hurricane. You have just a bunch of LLCs moving away from the tropical, I wanted to say tropical storm, from the hurricane, all out and around it. So just a very, very, very healthy hurricane now. Currently has wind speeds of about 75 miles per hour with a millibar of 992. So very impressive. I don't even know what this is. This is still a site I'm not 100% used to yet. But there you go. You can see the deep convection ongoing there. That's also where your eye is as well. Your eye is embedded right. Let me pause it for you. Your eye is under all this convection. It's yet to peek out right in this area is where your eye is. So it's not a fully, it's not a classic hurricane yet. Since we like to throw the word classic around with all the supercells too. Let's see. No imaging available. Oh yeah, right, because it's some mesosectors. What about this one? No. I'll have to explore all that stuff later. Man, just really impressed with it. Ooh, look at that. Do you see that explosion at the end? Look at that. We're still intensifying out here. Look at that. Wow. I've always been fascinated with these things. My goodness, it actually has quite a classic look to it. Just no eye, but you could see, look at the big swirl here. And then the big swirl back out here. Let me do that again. Here, and then as well as back out here. So you do have a pretty classic hurricane here. And then again, you have your LLCs going all the way around your hurricane here, pushing outwards. So very, very healthy hurricane. Definitely could have an eye. Possibly as early as 2 a.m. tonight. I mean, we could see an eye poke out really at any moment. Very healthy. Very, very healthy. I'm really impressed by it. My goodness. It's been a while since I've seen one of these things. By a while, I mean like, what? 8 months? It's been a proper while for this one. My word. So, I wouldn't be shocked if we're about to get a tornado warning out here near Chapman, Pennsylvania. I'm going to keep an eye on that air rotation. So, like I said, if you're in Barbados, I know we had a viewer from Barbados. You're now under a hurricane warning. That means hurricane impacts are expected in the next 48 hours. And we're going to see a lot of impacts out there. Again, I can't specify the storm surge with it by any means or anything like that. But, yeah. The storm surge is really the biggest question mark at the moment in terms of impacts. So, first hurricane of 2024, y'all, and it is a very healthy one. A very healthy hurricane. Very, very healthy hurricane. My goodness. I could watch this loop for hours on end. I keep clicking this one. Let's do water vapor. That's your water vapor imagery, which also gives you a very zoomed out. I actually don't like that water vapor. I like this one. And I also like this one as well. I like... This one kind of shows you the dry air more. But if I'm just looking at a tropical cyclone, I like this one the most. And again, you could just see all the LLCs out here away from the hurricane. You can see your 2 bands here as well. I believe that's your secondary band right there, and then it wraps around into your central low pressure. Just absolutely astonishing hurricane right there. My word, looks very healthy. Very, very healthy. So, again, hurricane watches are out. Hurricane warnings are out. Tropical storm watches are out. We'll go through all those again. Let's zoom in some more. So, Kingstown, St. George's, Grenada, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, you guys are all inside that hurricane watch. Bridgetown, this has not been updated. You are currently under a hurricane warning. You are not under a hurricane watch. You are now under a hurricane warning in Barbados and Bridgetown. You are still under a tropical storm watch if you're out on this island. I don't really know much about that island. Trinidad and Tobago, you're still fine from this. Some impacts are going to be felt from this system, but at the moment it shouldn't be anything significant by any means. May have some gusty winds around the realms of 30, 40 miles per hour as the system passes to your north. I bet the main thing is going to be don't go in the water. That's probably going to be the main thing for Trinidad and Tobago there. More north, tropical storm watches are in effect for these islands here, and I believe they go towards Guadeloupe. Now, Guadeloupe, you're either in a tropical storm watch or you're not. I really don't know. Let me go get the National Hurricane Center out. It's really hard to tell because I don't know the landscape out here. Yeah, Guadeloupe, you're not in one. Can I switch the advisory here? Yeah, because this is still the 2 p.m. advisory, so this is not correct. We're expecting a major hurricane at this point now. So this old advisory, it was Cat 2. We're now expecting a Cat 3 hurricane here. So Cat 3, Cat 3, Cat 3, Cat 3, and then probably goes down to a Category 2 and then a Category 1. We'll see. We'll see. After this system passes south of the Dominican, we'll see what happens. Let me see here. Oops. Give me just a moment, y'all. I'm trying to see this something real quick. Okay. My computer is telling me a Category 4 for the Caribbean areas. Really? What program are you using? I mean, it really wouldn't shock me, honestly. I swear, if it's the Weather Channel. I swear. Okay. Gracious day. Sorry, y'all. I'm just looking at the satellite on my other computer with this storm. Let me show you guys satellite again. Sorry, I keep going back to it, but it's just so impressive. We're going to go for the visible RGB. I mean, look at that. It's just not every tropical storm or hurricane you see that. Not all of them look that organized. Gracious day. I'm looking at the storms. Yeah, I don't really see anything too crazy with them. We do have 70-mile-an-hour winds possible for Connorsville in east central Indiana now. And the storms in Pennsylvania. The strongest storm, the one that I'm watching the most, is out towards Chapman, Pennsylvania. That could have the potential for a tornado with it. So yes, I'm monitoring them, but I'm not doing active coverage on them. This is more of a focus on our tropical storm, now hurricane, Beryl. just not spelled like barrel. So again, just make sure that you guys are paying attention to this. Everybody in the southern Gulf Coast of the U.S., as well as eastern Mexico, Yucatan Peninsula, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, you guys want to watch this system. Keep an eye on it. There's no need for any preparations for any of those areas I've mentioned at the moment. However, if you are out there in Jamaica, I would, like I said before, have preparations ongoing for a hurricane potential as we go into Wednesday. Lesser Antilles, Southern Lesser Antilles, of course, need to have hurricane preparations underway. Beyond, like I said, beyond south of the Dominican Republic, this system could go into Jamaica, could go into Cuba, could go into the Yucatan Peninsula. It could hit the Yucatan Peninsula, then move into the Bay of Campeche, or however you say that one, then move into Mexico, or maybe even southern Texas. So there's a wide variety of possibilities after this storm passes the Dominican Republic. St. Lucia, I believe I just called that area out. I recognize that. Was that out? Let me see. You are under hurricane watch. You are under a hurricane watch, which means that it's just going to take a little bit longer. That will be upgraded to a warning tonight. It will be upgraded to a warning at either the 8 o'clock advisory at Eastern Time, 8 o'clock, or the 11 o'clock advisory Eastern Time. You will be upgraded to a warning in St. Lucia. Can it hit Houston? I mean, theoretically, yeah. Are we forecasting it, or will it? No. I would be blown away if we have any impacts to the U.S. other than maybe extreme southern Texas if we're really unlucky. But again, it's far out. It is far out. Let me show you the wide variety of uncertainty that we have. Let me close out all of these. I don't want to show you any of those. So there's your wide variety. See how much uncertainty there is? So there is a few of these ensemble dots that actually take it up towards the southern Gulf coastline. But the majority keep it towards Jamaica, Yucatan Peninsula, and then eventually going into Mexico as well. But there is a lot of uncertainties. And again, south of the Dominican Republic is really where that begins. South of the Dominican Republic, southwest of Puerto Rico. That is really where a lot of your uncertainty starts, and those ensembles start spreading out south, start spreading out more to the north-northeast, start going more to the west. So a lot of uncertainty beyond this general point here, pointing to the northwest. So like I said, can it go to Houston? Actually, one little dot does have it making landfall in Houston, so it can, but I am by no means anticipating it to. Like I said, theoretically it can. And even if it does, I don't think it'd be very strong. I mean, you'd probably be looking at a depression at the most, even if it did head that way. I just don't find it being that favorable in the Gulf due to wind shear. But you never know. You never know. Let's see. So, yeah, let me check something really quick. I don't know if this is going to play any audio. Okay, it didn't. I want to check two things really fast for y'all. Okay, nothing there. And, okay. So, we'll just, I don't know why why this ensemble has it going to North Carolina. I don't know what the heck that's on about. Oh, and there's a tornado warning.
Tornado warning for northeastern Juniata County in central Pennsylvania, southwestern Northumberland County in central Pennsylvania, southeastern Snyder County in central Pennsylvania, Juniata, Northumberland, and Snyder County in Pennsylvania.
Well, we gave a big warning on that one. Big heads up. So Chapman, Pennsylvania is now inside a tornado warning. I talked about that, maybe even upwards of 30 minutes ago. We were watching that little area rotation. It's now tornado warned. So if you are in Chapman, Pennsylvania, seek shelter now. Tornadoes imminent or possibly even on the ground. Barbados, you're inside a hurricane warning. Major hurricane preparations need to be undergoing now. The potential for sustained winds of around 115 miles per hour, gusts of about 140 miles per hour. Storm surge probably in excess of, I imagine in excess of 3 feet. But again, we don't have a complete forecast on that yet. And, what potentially also, like, let's go look at the rainfall forecast for you out there. Yeah, potentially some isolated rainfall totals up to 6 inches out there, which is 150 millimeters of rain. So you do need to have hurricane preparations ongoing now. Yeah, I don't know what the European was on about. Somebody just shared the image on Twitter. It has a Category 4 hitting Texas. Another one ensemble. 2 ensembles have Cat 3s hitting Houston. 2 other ensembles have like Cat 2, Cat 3s hitting Western Louisiana. So I don't know what the Europeans ensembles are on about. And one even has a tropical storm going over my house. So European just seems like it's all over the place. Gracious day. Orlando, Florida. You're in a special weather statement, so stay away from some doors and windows. Whole heck of a lot of lightning with that. But lightning and some isolated winds upwards of 50 miles per hour. So just stay away from doors, windows, and stay indoors for sure. If that happened, heck yeah, Jay. I'd definitely chase it if that happened. So again, hurricane warning now out for Barbados. Also a tropical storm watch out for that island that I do not know. We have hurricane watches out from St. Lucia down south towards as far south as you could go of the Lesser Antilles. And then some tropical storm watches up south of the, south of Guadalupe. That's tropical storm watches for Dominica. And can't say that one. Can't say that one. What time does the warning end? What warning? The special weather statement over you, 29 more minutes. So 6 o'clock Eastern. I was going to say, if you're talking about like the hurricane warnings, that stuff ain't going to expire in like 50 hours. That stuff's going to be there for a long time. These tropical storm watches and hurricane warnings, that stuff's going to stay there for a very long time. Well, the watches will be upgraded to warnings. The watches will be upgraded to warnings. I think all of them will be upgraded to warnings by tomorrow afternoon. I think every last one will be upgraded to a warning in the afternoon. I mean, we already have one out. This one's probably going to be next at the 8 o'clock Eastern advisory. And then if not at the 8 o'clock advisory, we will probably have these issued at the 11 o'clock advisory Eastern time. So we should have a couple new things. It shouldn't be anything groundbreaking new things. But we should have a few bits and pieces of new information. Hold on. Oh. So we're going to get the first major hurricane this season? Yeah, we are. We sure are. We sure will. It should be classified as a Cat 3 right around the, it could be as early as very late tomorrow night. I plan to do, if I don't stay live here for too much longer, I'll do another live stream. So it's up to you guys. Would you like for me to end now or just keep going? Because I thought about ending about 6, coming back on here at about 7:15, 7:30 Eastern for the new update, and then streaming probably all the way to 9-ish, 9:30. I mean, we'll keep going for another 27 minutes, but there just won't be a lot of new information to talk about. So that's why I was going to do another one later tonight. So make sure you guys have hit that like button, share this stream with your family, friends, social media. If you want to tune in to tonight's live stream, if we manage to, which I probably will, end in 30 minutes, then we will be right back on here later on tonight, about 7:15. I'll schedule that stream. Shoot, you know, there ain't nothing better to do. I'll schedule that stream now. I'll just schedule that stream now. The title and everything's probably just, I'm probably just going to keep it the same, to be honest. There's really not a point in changing it. We're at the new advisory. Everything's still the same. So there's really no point in changing anything. So I'll probably just keep it all the same. I wonder if this will, this shouldn't end my live stream. I don't see why this would end my live stream. Well, if I cut off, y'all know what happened. YouTube decided to just cut me off for no reason. Well, it actually would have a reason. It'd be because I scheduled another stream. Where are the... Okay. So again, y'all, we'll just, we'll wait for us to approach the ending time. I wonder if I should use my other thumbnail for this or keep it the same. I guess we'll keep it the same for now. Nah, I'll change it. I made another thumbnail for Lucky to use because he plans to go live, but we all know how that goes. So just make sure, like I said, that you guys are keeping an eye on this system. Southern Gulf coastline of the U.S. should also keep an eye on this system. I definitely don't expect anything for us on the southern side of the U.S. at the moment. But, you know, you want to keep an eye on it just in case. Doesn't hurt to keep an eye on it. Let's see here. Okay. You have no idea what's been happening with YouTube lately. Well, YouTube's been doing YouTube things. Who knows? Who knows? Uh-oh. Okay, Lucky said he'll be live about 7. So honestly, we'll probably go live at about the same time. We'll plan for that. Between 7 and 7:15, I'll be live again tonight. So again, here's a current look at our hurricane barrel out here from the water vapor satellite imagery. Just a very intense hurricane. What causes an Ida form? Now, it's been a hot minute since I've seen that question, Jay. 8 months. I believe it's air rising and pushing clouds out from the center low that helps intensify it as well. So I believe it's just the intensity of a hurricane that begins to help push clouds out from the center, and then that can help also intensify it as it allows for more warmth of the ocean to get up into the atmosphere and into the clouds. But no promises, no promises. You might want to look that up from a meteorologist and somebody who studies these things with a degree. I can't remember from 8 months ago when I looked that up online. All right, let's go back up to that tornado one. You want to make sure it ain't doing something funny. It's still there. Just make sure you're in your safe spot if you're in the Chapman area in East Central Pennsylvania. That's almost dead Central Pennsylvania. Also, a little area of rotation might be trying to spark up near Columbia, southeastern Indiana. That's going to be in the tri-state area of Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio here shortly. Oops. Okay. Let me see what's going to happen with that severe weather tonight. We got a new model run. If we're going to see tornadoes, it's probably going to be like in the next 30 minutes to an hour because that's when the environment's pretty primed. Look at that. Hold on. So this is our current tornado warning near the Hendon area in Pennsylvania, but there's also a supercell back here. Look at that. You've got 2 embedded supercells back here in PA, 1 and 2. So this is definitely going to be where the tornado threat's going to peak over the next hour. We're definitely going to have the chance for 1 or 2 tornadoes out here. Charleston, I don't think we're expecting anything. Alright, let's go back over to this. Oh, they just tore possible that cell I just talked about. Look above my face cam. They just issued a severe on it. I'm just too good at my job. Man, look at this thing. This thing's just so impressive. My goodness. That northern band is very impressive, too. There's Barbados. Look at Barbados right there. Barbados. This thing's going to head right near Barbados. I think it's going to stay to y'all's south. But no promises. No promises. Oh, this thing's forming an eye fast. Ooh. Ooh, hold on. Can I get some higher resolution data on this? Because let's go to our weather climatology. And let's go to this one. This one. This one. Not this one. This thing's probably going to have an eye before I go live again tonight. Wow. Hold on, let me try to find a bit of a better angle of this for you guys. Okay, well, we don't want it to be that long. Look at this thing. So this is very high definition satellite imagery, so you can see every minute of this tropical, well, now hurricane. And look at that. Look at it spin right where this convection is. This thing's already attempting at an eye. This thing is going to explode overnight. My word. I don't think the nocturnal cycle will affect it too much. It will probably keep it from becoming a Category 3 overnight, but honestly, I'm anticipating a Category 3 tomorrow night. I think we'll have a Cat 3 tomorrow night. The National Hurricane Center has a Category 3 forecasted, not tomorrow night, but the morning of the next night. They have it becoming a Cat 3. I mean, look at that thing go, man. That thing is going. And it just keeps getting extra blasts of intensification. Very impressive. It is very much trying for an eye wall. Gracious day. I'm going to screenshot. Actually, let's do a true color. Everybody loves true color more. Okay, there you go. Oh, yeah, no, it's not wasting any time. Now, how do I spell this? B-E-R-Y-L, I believe is how you spell barrel. It's very weird spelling. So we're looking generally in this area for an eye. Honestly, I think it's going to occur here, but it could be after this convection wraps around and then this convection wraps around a bit more, and then we could get a big eye. We're either going to get a decent eye right here, or we could get a ginormous eye all right here. Either way, I think we're going to get an eye out of this. Because that is something, man. That is already trying for an eye. Very impressive. And then again, you can see all the other lower level clouds here. Which is LLCs, I believe. All going away from your hurricane. Wow. Just absolutely wild, dude. We have a few areas of spin out there in Pennsylvania. We're probably about to see a new tornado warning near the Newville, Newburgh, Dilesburg area. That is a big supercell above my face cam. That embedded area rotation is really starting to ramp up. And honestly, we could have a tornado on the ground at any moment with that storm. So I'd be pretty surprised if we don't hear that warning shortly. Because that looks very impressive. Let's see what else we have on this. I haven't explored this in a while. Well, none of these look pretty fun here. Ooh, upper level. Oh, no. We don't like upper level. As I go back to upper level. Look at that thing. Gracious, man. It is just exploding. Look at it. Look at it ramping up right here. I'm just very impressed with this hurricane. This thing looks like 10 times better than what it did when we started about an hour and a half ago. This thing looks way better now. Gracious, man. Absolutely crazy. All right, well, we're going to conclude stream in about 14 minutes. I hope you guys will tune in for the better live stream tonight. We'll have a better live stream tonight because we'll have Lucky. We'll have more information. We'll have the new satellite imagery then. But until then, we're going to still stay live here for just about 13 more minutes, and then we'll conclude. But again, we'll be back tonight. So mark your calendars for a whole 2 hours from now. About 7:10, 7:15. Between 7 and 7:30, we'll be live again. The live stream is already up for 7:15. So I'm going to just send you guys to that live stream. If you guys want to stay here, I'll just send you guys right over to that live stream so you could just wait there and, you know, maybe leave it up while you go do other things. Because we'll be live right, like I said, right back here at about 7:15 for that. We'll have the new NHC update. We'll be live for that. The satellite imagery will, of course, be able to see what it looks like in about 2 hours from now. And, yeah, hopefully you guys will join me back for that. Hopefully y'all will join me back for that. And for a quicker update, you could also go watch my video that I uploaded earlier today. All the information's still relatively the same, except for we have those new warnings that are out. We don't have a tornado warning in Pennsylvania anymore. Man, pretty surprised. Maybe it wasn't gate to gate enough for them to issue a warning on that. Hold on, I gotta go see. We gotta go 4-panel mode, y'all. We gotta see if this might have touched down. See if we can find a debris signature. I'm not seeing any. Don't see any credible debris from this. But this thing was definitely trying to ramp up here. It's probably done now, honestly. And this is the previously tornado warning storm right here. That looked like it tried for something, but it's just falling apart again. So over the next, like I said, about the next hour, we're still going to have a tornado threat out here. Let me go ahead and redraw that now. Right here, we're still going to have a tornado threat over about the next hour or so. Probably about 7 o'clock, that tornado threat's going to die down. So, yep. I'm just going to take a brief break, you know, get up, walk around, and get some food to me, and then we'll be back here about an hour. So, not that long. Enough for us to have some more things to talk about, and enough for Lucky to get his tail home so he can also give his input on this hurricane now. Hopefully it waits to form an eye so we can see it form an eye tonight. But honestly, I'm very shocked with how this thing is already gone. We really started the live stream when this thing is started to ramp up. So we watched this thing get classified as a hurricane. We were live. We were live for this storm to be the first hurricane of the season. That's what this stream's going to be called. I'll work out to word that a lot better, by the way. It won't be that poorly said. But yeah, just a very impressive storm. I'll try to get some more products up, try to find some more things too over the next hour so that I can show you guys. I don't really know that many websites, but maybe I can get some help with that from some friends I know. There's a few people I could try to ask and see if they remember the tropical sites, because that's always a doozy, remembering all the websites that you used 8 months ago for hurricane season. Just a very impressive hurricane. Yep, the first hurricane as it formed on June 29th, 2024 is probably what I'm going to title it. The first hurricane of the season as it formed. Not the first hurricane of the millennium. Man, that would be a title. We'll have to catch that maybe. Maybe in 2030, we'll have to catch the first live stream of the decade on stream. Let me see if we have radars out here. You know what? That's one thing I didn't check for. Do we got the radar sites? We indeed do. We indeed do. So we will have very low, but at least working radar. It updates like every 3 to 5 minutes, so it is slow radar, but I am not going to complain. You will not hear me complain about that. Actually, I think it updates every 7 minutes. Nope, every 5. Every 5. Let me see when this radar is going to update, though, because this was 7 minutes ago and it's still not in. Do I have to refresh it? Well, we'll generally have a radar site, have radar scan every 5 minutes or so, so we'll be able to cover the landfall at least semi-decently. But, yep, there you go. We're losing daylight out here, so our satellite imagery is going to be useless in terms of our true color and our visible. You can see there's the wave of darkness and night vision turning on. Look how poor your resolution gets. Look at that. High resolution and then poof, gone. Man. I'm still so impressed with it, y'all. I'm so impressed with it. Well, thank you so much, Walker. Like I said, we'll be live here. Current stream's planned for 7:15 Eastern. I'll send you guys right over there so you can go wait for that live stream. Hopefully it works, because we're live now, and I hope that is going to stay there. You never know. Maybe it won't. So, yeah, I'm going to change this key. Apparently it's the same key, so let me go to the customization tab here. I'll fix it. I will fix it. So like I said, we're going to conclude here shortly, just so I can have about an hour and a half break. There's a pretty good chance we're going to miss a tornado in Pennsylvania, but I'm not really trying to cover the tornadoes, to be honest with you. I'm not really interested in the severe weather recently. It hasn't been impressive to me. I'm more homed in on hurricane season. I've tried to make that clear, too, that we're going to be tracking more of the hurricanes. Actually, we had a tornado report. Landspout reported by fire department out there in freaking Kansas. Southeastern Kansas. Wow. That wasn't on my bingo card today. Hopefully I could get that other live stream up. Maybe when I end this stream, the stream key will work. If it doesn't, it's not that difficult to reschedule a stream. Also, what is today? Okay, so Monday. Wait, or is it tomorrow? Tomorrow, I'm in a slight risk for severe weather. It doesn't seem to be that interesting just yet. Mainly a wind threat, but there is the potential for a short storm chase tomorrow. Pending on what storms look like and what the heck. Well, apparently the storms happen at 10 a.m. and there ain't no way I can chase that. So, that looks unlikely now. We'll see, though. Models love to change frequently. But anyways, I'll see you guys in about an hour and 20 so minutes. That new live stream's already scheduled. You could just click on my channel and then go for that other live stream right off the bat. It's titled, I believe, the exact same thing, so shouldn't be that difficult to find. And yeah, I will see you guys once we get, well, we'll be live for that new update, actually. So we're going to start about 7:15 or so. We'll have my friend Lucky join in, who is going to give us more input on this, as well as that update at 8 o'clock, and we'll be live, like I said, probably through 9. So I plan for a 2-hour live stream later tonight, and this was a 2-hour live stream. We'll see how the second one goes. So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll have about a 3-minute outro music here just to wind down the live stream. Thank you guys for tuning in once again and sharing this stream. We reached just about 1,500 people with the word of this system here. And again, we will be live again on this system. So don't miss that newer update tonight. That is probably going to be a pretty important one as well. So thank you, mods, for mod and chat, and I'll see you guys in tonight's live stream in about an hour and 20 minutes. Stay safe, watch severe weather in the tropics. Goodbye. Stay safe, watch severe weather, and I'll see you guys in just a bit. Have a great rest of your night. Goodbye.